I'm honored to address distinguished audience today. I'm in Seoul now, but thanks to innovations in technology, we have been able to produce a video that will make you feel like I'm standing there in front of you, or so I hope. Before I begin, let me thank Governor Katsunori Mikuniya, Deputy Governor Hiroyuki Obata, and other members of the DICJ for their hard work in organizing this conference. Today, I would like to talk about the impact of new technologies on the financial services industry and what deposit insurance should do in response to the changing financial environment. Here are a couple of examples showing innovative new technologies that replace human labor.
In 2015, we completed the world's first truly driverless ride on public roads. Just a person in a car, no steering wheel, no pedals, navigating everyday traffic.
A self-driving car would give me a huge part of my life back.
Early last year, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which is in charge of regulating vehicle safety in the United States, said that the artificial intelligence system in Google's self-driving car can be considered the driver of the vehicle. Now, big IT companies like Google and Apple, as well as traditional car makers, are scrambling to develop their own driverless models. Late last year, Domino's in New Zealand succeeded in the first ever delivery of pizza by drone. The company says that it will soon launch a regular drone delivery service.
I proclaimed to one of the technicians, I said, I don't think I could have done that better myself. That was an interesting moment.
Anheuser-Busch, one of the world's biggest beer producers, made its first commercial beer shipment using a self-driving truck in partnership with Uber.
And it offers what it deems the most appropriate treatment option after looking through data from medical journals and the World's Cancer Research Network. It also provides reasons for the option it chooses, citing existing knowledge about diseases and drug information to determine those that should or should not be used. All this happens in just a few minutes. Doctors say they're generally satisfied with Watson's suggestions.
IBM and the University of Tokyo have run a clinical study in which they fed tens of millions of cancer research papers to IBM's Watson supercomputer. By comparing the vast amount of data with the patient's genetic profile, Watson correctly diagnosed a rare form of leukemia in a 60-year-old woman in just 10 minutes. It even suggested a more effective treatment for her condition.
った商品説明やご契約をご検討のお客様に待ち札を発券するフロアになっています。また2階では iPhone の契約手続きやお客様に商品をお渡ししていますよ。ロボットアームくんも僕たちと一緒に一生懸命働いてくれているんです。さらに3階はペッパーがギャグでお客様をおもてなしする。
In Tokyo, where we are right now, SoftBank opened a mobile phone shop staffed entirely by humanoid robots named Pepper last year. When I heard the news, I wanted to come and take a look, but it was an experimental pop store which was only open for a week. What I have told you so far has one thing in common. Our efforts to provide goods and services in a more affordable and convenient way are replacing human labor. The same thing is happening in the financial industry. Advances in digital technology will gradually remove the need for face-to-face human interaction from financial services. Thanks to innovative technologies, now there are easier, faster, and cheaper ways to make payments, get a loan, manage funds, and transfer money. Furthermore, the use of big data has enabled financial firms to offer highly customized services. A new word has been coined to describe this convergence of information technology and financial services, Fintech, short for financial technology. For traditional banks, Fintech means that they have to use information technology as a competitive weapon, not just a commodity, and constantly try to make their customers' lives easier. That you don't have to visit a bank branch to make a deposit or get a loan is no longer news. The last few years have seen a rapid growth in internet-only banks and P2P lending platforms. Now there are money transfer services that do not require a bank account, and even digital currencies like Bitcoin that have no person or institution managing their issuance. But Fintech's future is not entirely filled with rosy promises. Security and regulation remain major hurdles to revolution in financial services. Fintech services make use of consumers' private information and financial data, so any security breach will bring financial harm to a large number of people. Therefore, it is essential to take strong security measures. That is why there is growing research in the field of data protection, for example, by using biometrics data to prove a person's identity or using blockchain technology. In the meantime, it seems that the existing framework for financial regulation is not suited to regulate the fintech industry. In response, governments in many countries have relaxed regulations for fintech firms to foster innovation. However, too little regulation can expose financial consumers to new risks. The challenge for us is to find the delicate balance between regulation and freedom to innovate. Then, what should deposit insurers do to adapt to this changing environment? From now on, I'd like to talk about how deposit insurance organizations should react to fintech and use it to better protect depositors. Unfortunately, the discussion on this topic has not sufficiently matured to reach any conclusion. So I don't pretend to have any definite answers and just want to raise some important questions for us all to consider. Some fintech firms see developing countries as one of the key places to be for growth in the future. Therefore, deposit insurers like us, whose job is to protect small depositors, should seriously consider whether fintech users are in need of some sort of protection. To cope with the changing environment, IADI created the Financial Inclusion Subcommittee in 2010. And since then, IADI has continued discussions with G20 and other relevant international organizations. I believe that IADI should continue to be involved in this issue to ensure that fintech will evolve in a way that encourages financial inclusion. One other issue worth considering is whether funds stored on prepaid electronic payment system like PayPal, Google Wallet, and Kakao Pay should be eligible for deposit insurance. Countries stand on different grounds when it comes to how to treat such services in legal terms. In Korea, any money deposited in Kakao Pay accounts is considered as prepayments for purchases and thus not covered by deposit insurance for now. However, going forward, we will have to discuss whether digital money that exists only as data, in addition to real money, should be protected by deposit insurance. Then, what are the benefits we can get from using fintech as deposit insurers? First of all, we can use fintech to help depositors regain access to their funds more easily and quickly when their bank fails. The IADI core principles requires deposit insurance to reimburse insured depositors promptly. It also recommends using a range of reimbursement options. In addition, ensuring the reliability of deposit records is highlighted. Online payment services could be part of the solution for making prompt reimbursements. For example, deposit insurance agencies may partner with online payment services providers. Then, deposit insurance agencies may be able to reimburse depositors' claim with the click of a mouse. Distributed ledger technology is another fintech innovation. It can help us to increase the accuracy of deposit insurance premium calculations and deposit reimbursements. The technology, also known as blockchain, was first used in Bitcoin transactions. A distributed ledger is a system for recording on transactions of assets. But unlike traditional database technology, there is no central server managed by a trusted third party. Instead, the database is shared across a P2P network. And thus, all participants can make and approve changes to the ledger. Everyone with a network has an identical copy of the ledger, and any changes to the ledger are reflected in all copies almost instantly. So anyone who wants to hack the system must overwrite all the copies at the same time, which is practically impossible. Besides high security, distributed ledger technology has other benefits such as efficiency, system resilience, and transparency. Still, it has limitations. For example, it is very hard to reverse transactions even when they are made by mistake, and it takes too much processing power and data storage space. Central banks and regulatory authorities are paying close attention to potential uses of distributed ledger technology. When it put to practice, I think it will help to solve the problems associated with off-balance sheet deposits. In the earlier part of my speech, I talked about a rather gloomy future where machines will replace humans. However, even the era of artificial intelligence comes, it is people who build and program those machines. Therefore, the bigger question for us is to recruit, train, and retain workers who can thrive in this new environment. Take P2P lenders, for example. They are developing their own credit scoring algorithms to assess how likely a potential borrower is to repay the loan. To do that, they are hiring from outside the regular pool of talent, looking for people with a background in psychology, decision theory, and behavioral economics. The financial industry is entering an uncharted territory. New technologies have opened up novel opportunities, but they also bring unexpected risks. It is true that new technological inventions may work against us, and people fear about that. It is often said that fear comes from ignorance. But I say that we must look forward to the future with wonder rather than fear. To do that, we need to keep ourselves up to date with the latest innovations in the financial industry through monitoring and analysis. Furthermore, we should talk about the need for regular discussions devoted to this topic at the IADI level. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the midst of paradigm shifts. Let us put our imagination to the test and see what we can achieve together. Thank you.